Hello and welcome back. This is the final chapter of Hildibrand in A Realm Reborn. It occurs during patch 2.5, which by 2.5, our characters have been under quite a bit of stress. And, we have the Keeper of the Lake, the Chrysalis, and of course Moonbrita going on during this period of time. So I'd like to think we did this event before MIDI, but who knows? Anyways, without further ado, let's see our final chapter. Shades of Sil'dih. Ellie would share with you a shocking new turn in the Phantom Thief case. I was wondering when you'd show up, Vriza. I hope you haven't made any plans for the night, because we've got a situation on our hands. Remember our good friend, the Phantom Thief? Well, it seems he's decided to branch out from oh my goodness, to cold-blooded murder. If the rumors are to be believed, he's claimed 3 victims already, all influential members of Ul'dan society. Mr. Many Faces has been kind enough to leave one of his signature calling cards at every scene, leaving no doubts as to the identity of the murderer. The message is always the same. The weight of 5 corpses will bring the scales of justice to balance. More riddles. Not that you'll hear me complaining. No, the only thing my readers like more than a good mystery is a good murder mystery. Ever since the story broke, the Mithril Eye has been selling like Pond's cakes. The only rub is that it's left me no time to look into the thief's last message. Until now, that is. Shall we, Vriza? The hidden treasure of Ul'dah, was it? If there's anyone who can shed some light on this, it's you-know-who, the 2 Sunsilk tapestries. Voldemort? I don't know, that's only you-know-who I know. Except unless you're referencing WoW, too. Well now, if it ain't my favorite venture and my favorite Mithril Eye reporter along with her, tell me, what have I done to deserve the pleasure of your company today? I see. As much as I'd like to help you 2 lovely ladies, I'm afraid you found old Wymond at a loss. Ul'dah has more than its fair share of treasures, hidden and otherwise. I reckon our phantom friend could be after just about any of them. I can tell you this much, though. Whatever the thief's got his eyes on, it's got the Sultansworn in a right dither. Word has it they formed a regiment of the best and brightest to safeguard the royal vaults from this very threat. The Sultansworn aren't like to be forthcoming with information, but it's the only lead we've got. Come on, Vriza, I'd say it's time we paid a visit to the Heart of the Sworn. Oi, hold up there, Ellie. I ain't generally the worrying type, but you may want to think twice before getting yourselves involved in this. A man in my business develops a nose for danger, and this time, the stench is something fierce. You're a reporter, Ellie, and a fine one at that. Don't put that pretty neck of yours at risk trying to play hero. Your concern is touching, but I can assure you that I am ready for whatever dangers lie ahead. Besides, being a reporter is about more than selling papers. I have a duty to seek out the truth and convey it to the people. Come, Vriza, time is of the essence. Confidence. I like that in a woman. Any road. It's not my place to stop you, so just promise me you'll be careful. My gut tells me that trouble's a-brewin', and my gut's right more often than wrong. Where have I seen this man before? Oh, ha! Halt! Only authorized personnel are allowed in. Thal, bugger me with a broadsword. It's the Gentleman of Light's adventure and companion, and that catty but cute reporter from the Mithril Eye. Well, well, if it isn't the self-styled Warrior of Light. Tell me, what tall tales did you spin to the Sultansworn recruiter to land yourself in this position? Only the 12's honest truth, miss. Seeing that gentleman of light standing tall and triumphant that day, it moved me to the depths of me soul. I vowed to put aside my sketchy past and serve the realm, just like my hero, Master Hildibrand. The Sultansworn were impressed with my commitment and my sword arm, and they gladly welcomed me into their ranks. Wait, don't tell me you've come to assist Master Hildibrand in his investigation, haven't you? Why didn't you say so sooner? It's the least I could do to help the two ladies who united me with my role model. You'll be wanting to speak with Phyllis. She's one of the Sworn's best, and something of a history buff, it seemed. When she heard the thief was targeting the 4 relics of Behatted, she personally stepped forward and volunteered to lead the investigation. If anyone has the information you're looking for, it'd be her. Wait here while I get her. I can trust you not to touch anything, aye? My memory's rusty on this one. I mean, I know what happens in the end, but I can't remember how we get to the end. A pleasure to meet you, Phyllis. My name is Ellie, from the Mithril Eye. As you may have heard, we're researching the Phantom Thief case and would appreciate any information that may shed light on the recent events. The pleasure is mine, Miss Ellie, and if I'm not mistaken, that would make your companion friend here one Veriza Windrunner, yes? You know Veriza? As any regular reader of the Mithril Eye would, I must confess to being something of an unabashed fan of your work. Though it hardly befits my station to say this, I was secretly hoping that you would show up to assist in the investigation. Doubtless the inspector, too, will also welcome a helping hand. I was expecting Hildy. The Sultansworn, the elite of Uldah's state. I can only hope they prove more competent than the bungling mercenaries I've dealt with this far. Inspector Briarden, always one step ahead of us. Miss Ellie, Veriza, a moment, if you would. Right there, very good. Now face me and don't move an ilm. Oh yeah. Inspector, what is that in your... Demasking dust, a formula of my own devising that will allow us to see right through the thief's disguises. Analyzing the mask left behind at Vesper Bay, I was able to identify its composition and synthesize a counteragent that would dissolve the disguise whilst leaving the wearer's face intact. In any event, it would appear the two of you are indeed who you appear to be. Brilliant, Inspector. The Phantom Thieves pulled the wool over our eyes for the last time. I fear it won't be so simple. The ingredients necessary to produce the dust are exceedingly rare. Even with the entire resources of the Sultansworn at our disposal, we were only able to produce a limited supply. I see. Well, I suppose it's better than nothing. That said, have you been able to identify the thief's next target? A hidden treasure of Uldah, the last of the 4 lost relics of Behatted? I fear not. I've pored through the histories time and again, but the only mention of these 4 relics is a vague reference in an old prophecy. Most serious scholars consider it little more than a fairy tale. No wonder they want the truth to get out. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. The legend goes on to describe 4 sacred artifacts, one each possessed by these 4 Behatted heroes, but makes no mention as to their appearance or nature. Now I really want to go back and watch Ethis Asher's lore video on this. He actually has one, and he's a decent streamer. He's fun to listen to. If anyone's ever interested, he does a lot of lore. 3 times we have tried to identify the thief's target, and 3 times has he foiled us by making off with something else entirely. Needless speculation will only play to the fiend's strengths. All artifacts of Beledian origin have been sealed within the royal vault, and a regiment of our finest assigned to its protection. I have furnished all the guards with a supply of demasking dust and instructed them to be on the lookout for any suspicious personages. The blackguard will be in chains before he can lay a dirty hand on the vault doors, let alone the treasures within. You have our word, my lady. But there are even more disturbing matters at hand. Doubtless you have heard of the recent rash of murders perpetrated by our quarry. The Sultansworn have launched an investigation, but the truth of the matter is that we have been far too occupied with the defense of the vaults to make any meaningful progress. We would be most grateful for any assistance you could offer. Why are they all looking at me? A lady asks and a gentleman answers. There he is. Cast all worry from your heart, my lady. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has arrived to set right what is wrong and bring the wicked to justice. And this must be the demasking dust that is the talk of the palace. But you need not waste your supply on me, Inspector. I assure you that I am exactly who I claim to be. A shame, that. Inspector Hildibrand, we were not expecting you, but your services are most welcome. I will share all I know about the recent murders. The killer has claimed 3 victims thus far. The head of a publishing consortium, a high-ranking government official, and an influential scholar. Other than that, they were all influential figures in their respective circles. We can identify no common threads connecting the 3. Oh, this will prove a most satisfying case to crack indeed. And what of the method of killing? Conked over the head with a cudgel, gutted with a great sword, strangled with a subliger, mayhap? I'm afraid that we've identified no pattern. In any event, the murderer plots the deaths of 2 more even as we speak. We must take action, and quickly. Understood, my lady. Clues may be scarce, but worry not. My realm-renowned powers of deduction are more than up to the task. I will see this burglar turned butcher delivered to justice. Your presence is heartening indeed, Inspector Hildibrand. Friends, please take this demasking dust with you. I fear we can spare but a single sachet, but I trust you will put it to good use. On behalf of the Sultansworn, your assistance with the murder investigation is greatly appreciated. Leave the defense of the royal vault to us. The Gentleman of Light, in the flesh. Hells, he's every bit as muscular and majestic as I remembered. Slightly creepy. He may have 1,000 faces, but with Inspector Briarden's demasking dust, the masquerade will soon be over. Come to accompany me on yet another case, friend? I like your gusto, but if you're auditioning to be my assistant, I fear that role has already been filled most ably. Still, a gentleman welcomes the support of all his admirers. I shall henceforth name you thusly, Veriza, my ever-loyal associate. And now, my ever-loyal associate, the investigation calls. I propose that we begin by inspecting the site at which the most recent victim met his demise. My questioning about the palace has revealed that the scholar's body was found not far from the 80 sins of Sasimo. Even the most circumspect of criminals cannot help but leave behind clues that will not elude my gaze. Friends, let us be off. Pray alert me, should you see anyone suspicious, my ever-loyal associate. We must put Miss Phyllis's demasking dust to good use. I don't think these guys see anything different, but I'm going to check anyways. No. Flowers. How intriguing. Really? Flowers. Yes, it's all becoming clear now. Our phantom killer is a florist who, in his hurry to escape, carelessly mislaid his wares. Oh, sometimes stating the obvious is a good thing. And lacking in this moment. Just what do you think you're doing, eh? I'm the one who put those flowers there to honor the memory of me poor boy. You dare defile his memory? 1,000 pardons, my lady. Please accept my most sincere condolences on your loss. I am Hildibrand, Agent of Inquiry, Inspector Extraordinaire. I swear to you on my own dear mother's name that your son's killer will be brought to justice. I was just saying, these flowers were clearly placed here by the family of the deceased, which can only mean... Leave this place. Run away while you still can. Run far, far away. Run, or he'll turn you into a zombie, just like my poor, poor boy. A living person turned into a zombie? Nonsense. Okay, my memory is really off on this one. Like I said, I remember the ending, but I don't remember how this all plays out. Not nonsense, my boy. History. Or have you not heard of the horrors of Sil'dih? Aye, Uldah's sibling nation, against which we waged war centuries ago. Much blood was shed by both sides, aye, but I speak of far greater horrors than death, an unholy drought brewed by the Sil'dihian alchemist, one with the power to turn the living to the undead, that his nation might command an army of mindless, deathless soldiers, the traitor's spurn. Now, if you started in Uldah, you've seen the traitor's spurn before. If you did not, I don't know if you've seen it. They turned my poor boy into a heap of rotten flesh and ran him through, but you won't hear that from the Sultan sworn. Thal alone knows why, but they whisked the body away before I could so much as pay me last respects. The traitor's spurn, I've heard the stories, but I never thought them true. To be able to procure such a frightening thing, just who are we dealing with here? A Sil'dihian. I'm sure of it. Aye, only a Sil'dihian would know the recipe. The Vault of the Sultan Sworn has that stuff. They don't need to remake it. But the last remnants of Sil'dih died 4 centuries ago, you say? Oh, they did. He calls himself the Phantom Thief. He does, but did it ever occur to you that he might be an honest-to-God's phantom? Heard the tales from my own great-great-grandma, I did, about the 4 relics of Behatted and the powers they hold, the power to exact justice. A specter of Sil'dih has returned to wreak vengeance on us. Woe, woe unto us all. Have the 4 warriors of light forsaken us? My dear boy, if only you'd become a traitor like your father, if only you'd kept your nose out of those history books, and never so much breathe the accursed name of Sil'dih. But you did, and now we're doomed. Doomed! Doomed! Bit dramatic, but you know. Zombie apocalypse and all forthcoming. Is she really not going to tell them about the traitor's spurn? That bleeding whoreson's here somewhere. I can feel it in my follicles. Baldy's back. Elazar, the most potent hair tonic the realm has seen. Aye, that it was for all of a fortnight, for my flowing locks fell out all over again, and just as I was chatting up a lovely young lass at the quicksand, just to twist the knife an extra ilm. Mountbark charlatan, I'll find that so-called inspector and his sorry band and pull every last strand of hair from their bleeding skulls. Shades from Sil'dih. Living men turned to zombies? The old crone's lost not just her son, but her wits as well. I suppose as an Ishgardian he wouldn't know about it. Sibling Strife. Hildibrand is onto something, or at least he thinks he is. It's all becoming clear to me now. That dear old woman's testimony has confirmed that which I had suspected from the start. Like a zombie picking away at its rotting flesh, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has peeled away the foul scab of uncertainty to reveal the truth within. Open your ears and feast your minds on the fruits of my flawless deduction. Our phantom thief is a phantom indeed, a wayward spirit caught between the realm of the living and the dead for nigh on centuries, since meeting a tragic end on the battlefield. As such, our course of action is clear. We must placate this tortured soul, that it might abandon its vengeful vendetta and travel to the next life in peace. But what is the true nature of the specter's grievances? Without this knowledge, we cannot hope to assuage its rancor. Let us begin our search at the Thaumaturge's Guild. Doubtless the tomes there contain a wealth of knowledge on the ill blood between the sibling nations. As much as he's way off, that's actually not a bad idea. Notwithstanding the abject stupidity of everything else that came out of your mouth, some knowledge of Sil'dih might serve us well. Go research as you will, and do take as much time as you need. You can count on me, Inspector Briarden. Whatever knowledge is to be gleaned at the guild, it shall not escape my inspector's eye. I really didn't think that was a bad idea. I'd be much obliged if you could keep him out of my way, Vriza. I have some real investigating to do, and would prefer to be free of distractions. Gods be good. You're the adventurer saved me back at the ruins. Researching the ancient feud between Old Daw and Sil'dih, are you? Why, I'm pleased to say I have more than a passing familiarity with ancient history. To understand the history of the sibling nations, one must go back further still, to the birth of their mother nation, Behatted. The Fifth Astral Era was an age of untold wonders, when the arcane arts burgeoned, and the great civilizations that commanded such powers flourished. This age of enlightenment would not last, however. Power bred avarice, and avarice bred resentment. It culminated in the War of the Magi, which brought the great floods of the Sixth Umbral Calamity, which in turn swallowed once proud nations and left a battered wasteland in its wake. Mages were reviled and persecuted for having caused this catastrophe, with many forced to leave their homelands or face death. It was a small band of those survivors that found their way to Thanalan, where they would found the nation of Behatted some 8 centuries agone. Imagine a government of mages, by mages, and for mages. What wonders might have been wrought had Behatted civilization survived to this very day. Alas, this was not to be. If I remember my lore enough, I believe it's the Sky Pirate story that gives us more information on this. You don't say. It's not every day someone comes to our halls to research Sil'dih. As a fellow student of history, though, I more than welcome the conversation. Behatted civilization flourished in relative peace until twin sons were born to the royal family. The two were fierce rivals, and when they came of age and their father passed, each one claimed that he was the rightful heir to the throne. With neither son willing to relinquish his claim, they agreed to split their kingdom in two, forming the twin nations of Ul'dah and Sil'dih. But not unlike the two proud princes, the sibling nations developed a penchant for rivalry. Sorry, I guess I could have read that one. Knowledge is power, and surely our Thaumaturge friends have a wealth of knowledge on the feud between Ul'dah and Sil'dih. Let us begin our inquiry. I'll come back and read this. If Behatted civilization had flourished to this day, what wonders might have been achieved? But there is little to be gained from lamenting the past. I know that's not foreshadowing for Endwalker, but there's some irony there. Greetings, traveler. You would learn of the war between Ul'dah and the fallen Sultanate of Sil'dih? It would be my pleasure to enlighten you. The two city-states coexisted for several generations until the bad blood between them boiled over, culminating in outright war. As you might deduce from the present state of affairs, Ul'dah emerged victorious, leaving its once proud sibling nation in smoldering ruins. As the histories tell it, the battle fought between the sister nations were the stuff of nightmares. In a desperate attempt to overcome Ul'dah's superior numbers, Sil'dian alchemists devised a most horrific stratagem. Employing a frightful formula known as the Traitor's Spurn, they brought their fallen warriors back as undead soldiers. Some theories have it that they even employed the potion on those of the living who were too weak or wounded to fight. Sends shivers up the spine just thinking about it, no? It is truly a crowning glory of our fair nation that our forebears were able to emerge victorious against these horrors. I love these guys. They're so fun. What's that you say? You seek knowledge of the bad blood between Ul'dah and Sil'dih? I suppose I can spare a moment or two. But take good notes. I'm not fond of repeating myself. 2 scales, one of gold and one of silver. The gold of Ul'dah weighing prosperity and power. The silver of Sil'dih weighing knowledge and power. But the power sought by the two nations differed greatly. Yes, greatly indeed. The power wrought by the Ul'dah prosperity was that of justice and good, while the power wrought by the Sil'dian knowledge was horrific beyond belief. The power to rip the living soul out of a man and render him a mindless killing machine. On this matter, the histories are clear, but riddle me this, my friend. Who writes the histories, and what does this say of the words writ within? Yes, truth can be elusive and fickle as the shifting sands. As one example, did you know that in the war against Sil'dih, Ul'dah and Amalja warriors fought side by side? Likely you did not, and neither did I until I encountered a faded passage in an ancient text buried deep in our archives. And yet, in the histories read by the populace, you will see no mention of this most fascinating fact. Might it be that someone, at some time, deemed this particular truth less than convenient? But I've said enough already. This part makes me wonder if he actually knows the truth about the history between the two cities. I mean, it's certainly implied. And as they say, the victor writes the history. My ever-loyal associate, tell me, what have you learned from your questioning of the scholars in these halls? Indeed. As it happens, I have learned much the same. Let us take a moment to review and allow my peerless powers of deduction to work their magic. A war of succession divides the great civilization of Valadia, given rise to the sibling nations of Ul'dah and Sil'dih. The two nations coexist for some generations until ill blood boils over, culminating in outright war. Daunted by Ul'dah's superior military might, Sil'dih employs their advanced alchemical knowledge to horrific ends, transforming their own citizens, alive and dead, into a fearsome undead legion. Yes, I believe I have it. The facts at hand have led me to one unassailable conclusion. Our phantom thief is a descendant of the doomed Sil'dih, who seeks vengeance against those who reduced his countrymen to slavering zombies. Did I just read that right? To pacify his soul and send him peacefully to the next world, there is but one course of action. We must find the Sil'dian statesman who conceived this dreadful stratagem and have him apologize to the thief in person for the suffering he has wrought. A brilliant plan. Perhaps you'd like to go find yourself a shovel and dig this statesman out of his grave yourself? That's kind of what I was thinking. Leaving aside this nonsense of spirits and specters, it appears increasingly likely that our quarry shares some link to Sil'dih. His garish garb is no doubt meant to evoke the silver scales of the fallen sultanate. The Sil'dian connection would also serve to explain the rare knowledge of Beledian relics our thief clearly possesses. But what of the murder victims? What common thread amongst them could have incurred the ire of our adversary? A few people in town spoke of a man sighted calling upon the victims in the past days. Those who saw him said he had a most frightened air about him. Wait, yes, it's coming to me. Of course, my keen investigator's senses rang out with a voice loud and clear. This man Miss Ellie speaks of just might know something. Oh yes, now we're back to stating the obvious. You really should stop thinking so hard. You're like to strain a brain muscle. Miss Ellie, who is this man and where might we find him? My sources identified the man as Guguria, a traveling merchant known to frequent Horizon. Shall we pay him a visit? Oh, looks like we're going to Horizon. My keen instincts tell me that Master Guguria's testimony will be key to a monumental breakthrough in our investigation. Yes, I shall employ the ancient Manderville art of parley to skillfully extract the information we require. Yes, if you got business, make it quick. My time's too valuable to waste chatting with every stranger who passes by. Forgive us, good sir. My name is Ellie, a reporter with the mithril eye, never blinking, all-seeing, you know the rest. I was wondering if we could trouble you with just a few questions. Was it for love or money that you killed them? Yes, you, the thief of many faces. Again, too short. Me, a thief? What is this nonsense? I don't know who you are, but I ain't got the time or the patience for this mummery. Now, if you'll excuse me, an important client awaits. I thought I'd recognize that voice. Lady Dorilda, well met indeed. Pray tell, whatever brings you to these environs this fair morning? Why, I live here, you ham-headed half-wit. Inspector Briarden, this is an unexpected pleasure. Do you have some business with my associate here, pray tell? Guguria, we can discuss business after. Pray lend the inspector here, the handsome one, whatever assistance he requires. But, Lady Dorilla, what about... Ah, yes, my dear Maria's name day present. I had in mind one of the prize pieces from Estame's latest seasonal collection. You would be able to procure one for me, yes? Or shall I eliminate the middleman and make the trip to Ul'dah myself? I'll say it just once more, Gujuria. I expect you to give the inspector and his companions your full assistance. Yes, even the stupid one, helped me regain something truly priceless. Yes, something more valuable than any mere trinket. Okay, it's heartwarming that she became a better mother out of all of that. All right. I'll tell you what I know, but you didn't hear it from me. Got it? I was looking into the killing on behalf of a client of mine. The thief's got himself some of that zombie dust, the traitor's spurn, was it? And his cards speak of 5 victims. It got me to thinking. Sil'dih, 5 victims, the Arbiters of Truth. The Arbiters of Truth. I'm not familiar with that name. Few would be, on account of them being something of a secret society and all. Influential personages of the Sultanate, you see, working from the shadows to keep false knowledge about the Sil'dih conflict from reaching the ears of folk like you and me. False knowledge? Pray tell, just what sort of knowledge might that be? False balls. Don't make me say no more. I've got a family to feed. Very well. Just tell us one last thing. Who hired you, and where can we find him? Hob. His name's Hob. When he heard what I said, he told me that he was going to set sail for Limsa with his 5 best sellswords to guard his back. Said there were many prying eyes at the airship docks. Said he had a private ship docked and waiting for him at Vesper Bay. But remember, you didn't hear none of this from me. This man Hob must be one of the killer's targets. Doubtless, he also knows the identity of the remaining one. I doubt that. They say the Arbiters are so secretive, they don't even know each other's true identities. Now, don't ask me how that all works, but Hob's got high-ranking friends in the brass blades. Once he heard the victims had been all zombified, he panicked. Guess he knew that he'd be next. Thank you very much, my kind sir. Once again, the ancient Manderville art of parley has procured for us a key morsel of knowledge. Let us seek out this Hob fellow and see what he can share with us. And let us hurry. The man's life is in danger, even as we speak. Well, no one can deny that Hildy has a good heart. I would hear what this hob fellow has to say. Come, my ever-loyal associate, let us away to Vesper Bay with all speed. Master Hob? Is everything quite all right? No, stand back, Ellie. Hunger. I hunger for your brains. Damn, there's no saving that man. Vriza, do what you must. Yes, my first-hand knowledge of zombies tells me this particular shade of green is unmistakably that of the undead. 'Twould seem we were a few moments late to the scene. A message, and then there was one. There it is again. Wait, does he know he's being followed by her? Is something the matter, Inspector? Indeed, Nashu, there is. Ever since I picked up the trail of the Phantom Thief, I've had this fleeting sense, a sense that someone or something is watching us. Oh, he does realize it. Thief might be close at hand. We should be careful. For the moment, let us return and report our findings to Miss Phyllis. Secret society or no, knowing the identities of its members may yet lead us to the final victim. I too had best return to the Mithril Eye. Let's meet up again after. I'll see what new clues I can uncover in the meantime. You will do nothing of the sort, Miss Ellie. These streets are far too dangerous for you to walk alone. Aww. Inspector, I'll go with her. If you insist, Nashu, then I give my leave, but pray be wary, not just of the thief, but of Miss Ellie. She has quite the temper, as we both know. Seriously? Miss Ellie, there is something I must tell you when the case is over. Be safe and promise me that you will not attempt anything rash, as you did that time when the fiend took aim at my own life. Your life, Inspector? Ah, at Costa del Sol. Yes, that was quite the ordeal, wasn't it? I'm sorry, it's funny. I'll be careful, I promise. I eagerly await the day when I may hear what it is you would share with me. A secret vow. Oh, consider my interest piqued as well. Good, Inspector. Now let us be off. Miss Phyllis awaits our report. I forgot that he hadn't figured out that it was, unintentionally us that almost killed him. None but authorized personnel may enter. Some shifty-looking fellow was I in the vaults before, but he took off faster than a fleeing cactar as soon as my gaze met his. Aye, just like I cowed many a Garlean on the plains of... Oh, it's you. The news of Hobbs' death will not sit well with Miss Phyllis, but a gentleman must do what a gentleman must do. Fourth victim? Oh, have mercy. Were you able to glean aught of a connection to the other victims? The arbiters of truth. No, it can't be. Somebody help! Miss Ellie, the voice came from the direction of the vault. We must hurry. Miss Ellie, are you hurt? That man! I only thought to ask him a few questions. Before I knew what was happening, he was upon me. I could only... bash his brains with a conveniently placed bottle of mead, it would seem. Ha! Remind me not to get on your bad side, Miss Ellie. That said, is Nashu not with you? She saw a figure lurking in the shadows and went off in pursuit before I could stop her. This man wears the armor of a Sultan Sword and Squire, yet his face is unfamiliar to me. Something is amiss. The thief of many faces! To think we would find our man like this? Thrice and again did the fiend elude our grasp, but no more. By virtue of a gentleman's ingenious deductions and a lady's pugilistic puissance, I declare this case closed. I return this sachet to you, Miss Phyllis. Whilst the gesture was appreciated, in the end it proved superfluous to my cracking of the case. While you're at it, is there anything else of immense value that you'd like to wantonly destroy? What? What is the meaning of this? Ingenious, a double disguise, planted by the thief to throw us off his trail, no doubt. This is... Gyu, one of my most capable men. I assigned him to guard the vault and outfitted him with ample supply of demasking dust. It is inconceivable that the thief could so easily elude his grasp. Unless the thief was not wearing a mask. Speaking of which, has anyone seen Miss Ellie? No, that's impossible. Of course, it all makes perfect sense. With the phantom thief to thank for her burgeoning readership and rise through the ranks at the Mithril Eye, Miss Ellie could not bear to face the possibility of her story of a lifetime coming to an end. Thus, she hatched a plan to... My lady, the vault has been breached. The wise man's whisper is gone. For her foul crimes against the Sultanate, I hereby declare Ellie of the Mithril Eye, the thief of many faces, and enemy of the state. Deploy all troops and do not rest until she is in custody. And now the game is truly afoot. Huh, Greg. Bah, what is the meaning of all this racket and rumpus? And just as we were about to make our triumphant return, isn't that so in Kidu? Miss Ellie, that shadow you said you saw, I think it was just a dormouse. To think he'd literally stumble face first onto the second mask. His good fortune truly knows no end. But not to worry. Yes, I dare say the Phantom Thief has another trick or two up his sleeve. Poor Nashu. How could we have been so blind? When you have eliminated the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable. Beneath the mask, not even the shockingest turn of events will deter the famed agent of inquiry. My ever-loyal associate, we must find Miss Ellie, and quickly. Surely, if confronted by her constant companions, she can still be convinced to abandon this fool plan. Oh, Miss Phyllis, I thought you had already departed in the company of your men, but all for the better. Shall we conduct the search together? I fear that would only put them at greater risk. You see, the fifth and final member of the Arbiters of Truth, the Phantom Thief's final target, is none other than Hildibrand Mander? Me. Mind you, it is not a role I sought of my own accord. My name and my passion for history are somewhat well known in the Sultanate. One day I received an anonymous letter stating that a position in the committee had opened, and I had been chosen to fill it. The letter went on to enumerate my duties to prevent the spread of historical lies that would sully the name of our illustrious nation. As a high-ranking officer in the Sultansworn, I was deemed to be in a particularly unique position to serve as an arbiter. I knew that there were other members of the organization, but was told nothing of their names or identities. To think that my unknown compatriots were the victims all along. I cannot put any more lives in danger. I will sequester myself in a place where my presence can cause no harm until such a time as the killer is apprehended. Your concern for our well-being is most touching, Miss Phyllis, but there is no need for such caution. As a seasoned inspector, I am more than capable of protecting a lady in distress. And as a gentleman, that is exactly what I shall do. My associates here also stand at your side. Speaking of which, has anyone seen my loyal assistant? Inspector, over here! Ah, there you are, Nashu. You really shouldn't run off on your own like that. I was worried sick about you. I'm sorry, Inspector. Miss Ellie said she saw somebody in the shadows, so I went to take a look. Now, there wasn't anything there but a dormouse, but it was a really cute dormouse, you see. It just kept squeaking and scurrying away, and I just... Pardon me for a moment, Nashu. Yes, my inspector's sense speaks to me. Someone is watching us. Fariza, let's split up and canvass our surroundings. Our warrior of light doesn't fear much, but... I swear there is fear in her eyes in a little bit later scene. I cannot allow my presence to put my men in danger. Apologies, Fariza, but I require a moment alone with my thoughts. Poor Briarden. Where is Miss Ellie? Do you think she went looking for the dormouse too? A water-stained letter lies conspicuously on the floor. Be wary and be warned. Trust no one, and your friends all the less. I can't remember who gave this to us, though, if it was her or not. This will avail you well. Use it wisely. Yay, more demasking dust. An intimidating presence behind us. If it isn't my beloved son's staunch companion, the mighty Variza. I was in the area on a matter of business which I curtailed when I felt a suspicious presence from the shadows. Pursuing, it led me here. Mayhap it is the same for you? I love how we back up away from him. Oh, so your pursuit of the thief of many faces has taken quite the unexpected turn. And now you have come upon a series of anonymous letters? Mayhap our watcher in the shadows is a friend. Or is this but another trap laid by the fiend? Yes, the plot thickens, like a dollop of salamander oil. Oh, the reminders. In either event, I dare say the circumstances call for utmost caution. The thief could be anywhere or anyone, myself excluded, of course. No mere mask could replicate the physique of this Manderville man. Of course not. That said, I fear my dear Hildy may be in a bit over his head this time. Allow me to assist in your investigation. Were anything to happen to Hildibrand, his dear mother would, not be pleased. Wow, even he fears her. Officially the most dangerous person in all of Eorzea. Something just isn't right. I cannot allow my presence, again, to put my men in danger. I guess they're going to say the same thing. If the sender speaks true, the villain even now lurks within our midst. And yet, we have but a single sachet of demasking dust at our disposal. We must identify the impostor beyond reasonable doubt before we proceed. You know the players better than I, Variza. What say you? Have a few words with each of them, and see if aught seems amiss. Am I doomed to share the same fate as the others? I'd sooner die than become one of those things. Miss Ellie is the phantom thief. It is the only logical conclusion, and yet I cannot help but feel that another truth still evades us. Inspector Briarden told me all about it. Who'd have thunk Miss Ellie was the phantom thief all this time? She sure fooled me. Nothing particularly odd about any of them, you say? It stands to reason the fiend would not take such a risk if he were not utterly confident he could pull off the ruse. Curses. This one's not half the fool his son is. I must elude him, and quickly. Time is of the essence. I question the Sultan sworn outside. To a man, they insist they have seen naught of Miss Ellie. Wherever could she have gone? Father, what brings you here? Yes, finally, the pieces are coming together. Now if you would kindly stand still and shut up. The fiend already stands among us. Inspector Briarden, I should hope you're not doubting me. Well, I'm quite convinced that even a master impersonator would struggle to recreate your particular brand of idiocy. The fact remains that anyone here who has spent even a moment alone must be considered a suspect. The thief has proven to be highly efficient at assuming new identities. An astute observation, my gangly friend. I'd say this occasion calls for a dose or two of that powder Veriza here found earlier. There wouldn't happen to be another sachet or two lying about, would there? What remains of our supply has already been distributed to the search party, but worry not, they should be reporting back within a bell's time. Ha! Time might be against me, but just you watch. I'll wiggle my way out of this and turn you into the reeking, drooling corpse you deserve to be. I fear that is more time than we can afford, Miss Phyllis. Fortunately, my powers of deduction will lay the fiend's face bare within minutes. We know that, given the choice, the thief prefers to impersonate familiar personages. And Miss Ellie has had only passing interactions with my dear father. We can safely eliminate him from consideration. That leaves myself, Nashu, and Veriza here. Nashu, and I in particular, have had a close and extended relationship with our suspect. I shall begin by questioning mine own assistant. I assure you that none know her better than I. Brilliant reasoning as ever, Inspector. Go on, ask me anything. Of all the times for this overstuffed buffoon to start talking sense, if he asks me anything too obscure, my cover is as good as blown. My relationship with Nashu is so close, I dare say, at times it is as if we share a mind. If this Nashu is truly my ever-loyal assistant, she should have no trouble completing my thoughts. I'm a Manderville... I'm a Manderville... Man! Doing what only a Manderville... can. From the peaks of Kurthis to Thanalin, Manderville. Man, you're the best, Inspector. A perfect score. You may rest easy, dear friends. This is unmistakably, unequivocally, indubitably the true Nashu. Really? I've never loved you more than now, you marvelous muttonhead, you. Nashu? Is something the matter? Just because you've picked up a few more wrinkles beneath the eyes, there's no need to avert that charming face of yours. Wrinkles? Wrinkles? Look who's talking, you crusty, cretinous old... Genius, Inspector? The shroud is up, Miss Ellie. Miss Ellie, you look somehow different. So the letter spoke true. The fiend was in our midst all along. My prodigious powers of deduction scream out to me, this woman knows something. Another two-layered mask, mayhap? But no, this woman bears a striking resemblance to Miss Ellie. I was all but certain that Ellie was our thief. What is the meaning of this? Truths Untold. Who is this unfamiliar woman, and what secrets does she hold? Seven hells! Done in by a muscle-bound muttonhead and his motley troop of mummers. Just who are you? Your resemblance to Miss Ellie is most uncanny, and yet... Consulting Inspector Briarden, once again you failed to measure up to your lofty reputation. Of course we resemble each other. Ellie is, after all, my own flesh and blood, my beloved sister, and my eminently capable partner in crime. A thousand faces I may wear, but only one name do I bear. You can call me Cece. Charmed, I'm sure. Are you quite all right? Why, you look as if you've seen a ghost. Despite my moniker, I assure you that Ellie and I are no specters. What we are, mind you, are the last living scions of the Sil'dih aristocracy. Bemused, are you? Befuddled? To find two sisters behind the mask. Try using your brains once in a while. Every time you encountered the thief, Ellie was standing right in your midst. No, the thief that 4 times stole the show, oh, and those priceless relics, was me. Meanwhile, Ellie hid in plain sight, supplying me with just the knowledge I needed to stay one step ahead of my pursuers, all while spinning the hair-raising tales of my exploits that won the hearts of this nation. We owe a lot to you, truly. Why, without the tales of your hapless attempts to catch me, we never could have risen to these heights of celebrity. Miss Cece, from a gentleman to a lady, I would ask you one thing, and one thing only. Just what is it that you and Miss Ellie hope to accomplish with all of your schemes? Justice. 400 years ago, Uldan dogs reduced our great nation to a nation of zombies. At long last, the cowards that would still justify these foul deeds will suffer the same fate. Wait, the histories say that it was the Sil'dih that turned their own men into zombies. The histories lie, and you work from the shadows, silencing those who would speak the truth. You should have died with your fellows, false arbiter. It was Ul'dah that ordered the creation of that dreadful powder and wielded it as a weapon against our proud ancestors. The history of your glorious sultanate is built on a lie. What is this madness you speak, woman? Godbert doesn't know. Not madness, truth. The powder in my possession was stolen from the Ul'dan army 4 centuries ago by one of my ancestors. They say it was his final act of courage in the moments before his leg fell off and his rotting head dropped from his shoulders. This is the truth that the histories don't tell. The truth that this doe-eyed sultan sworn would kill to keep buried deep in the sands of Thanalan. But your time of reckoning is nigh. Oh yes, before long, you and everyone in this rotten nation will know firsthand the horrors my ancestors knew. And just what do you mean by that? Oh, how the idiots lap up the stories. A masked crusader for justice, a dashing rebel waging battle against power and authority. Oh, if only they knew. But they will see soon enough, when they're eating each other's brains out on the streets. In the last days before our proud nation was razed to the ground, a band of the final survivors stole a vast quantity of the powder from the Uldan vaults, hiding it away in a secret vault sealed with powerful magics. The sole means by which the vault may be opened? By assembling 4 secret relics from Behatted, 4 relics once housed in the royal palace of Sil'dih, before the Uldan dogs stole them and claimed them for their own. And so it dawns upon you at last. Yes, even as we speak, Ellie makes for the vault, the 4 relics safely in hand. Just think, one day you'll be able to tell your grandchildren you were there when zombie powder rained down on Ulda. No, wait, you'll all be dead. Preposterous. But first, you, my dear, you will not even have the pleasure of looking upon the last moments of your precious homeland. Let your flesh rot like all of your rotten lies. I think not, Miss Cece. Hildibrand! You idiot! Just for once, could you not get in the way? Uh-oh, here she comes. God, Bert Manderville, I can't even trust your sorry arse to look after him for a day. I knew it! That presence watching over us from the shadows. It was you, my dear wife. The most dangerous person in Eorzea. Seriously. Am I to understand that you are Hildibrand's mother? Aye, this is more like it. Hand to hand, skillet to skillet. It's enough to send a warrior's pulse racing. Prepare yourself, Ariza. The time for our final confrontation is nigh. What is it with us and getting obsessed warriors who want to fight us? Seriously. Do you have potos for brains, you overstuffed buffoon? My beloved boy's been turned into a stinking corpse. If you hadn't bloody noticed. You, Vriza or something, was it? Hildy's told me all about your hijinks together. Pleased to meet ye. My dear boy's always had a bit of a rebellious streak. What can I say? I can come on a bit too strong at times. But can you blame me? This time I thought I'd sit back and leave things to my sorry-arse husband here, and look what that got me. You'll help me out, won't you? I'm sorry, it's funny. It's like the few times our character actually shows fear. I dare say it's quite clear who wears the pants in the family, so to speak. Inspector Hildibrand's mother? Oh darn, we can't talk to Greg. Our obsessive stalker guy. Reunited with my dear boy for the first time in ages, and just look at him! He's green! Fortunately, there's still time to reverse the zombie curse, and I know just the remedy. A phial of holy water. The ingredients are simple. A tatter of oversoul rags, and a phial of twice distilled water. Singat at the market stocks the former, and the latter you can procure from a trader by the name of Ogest. Now hurry. Once the poison spreads throughout his veins, no antidote will save him. In the meantime, I will search for the bumbler's bumbling assistant. With any luck, Miss Nashu is still alive. Ouch, that's smarts. Egads, Hildy. You're looking none too hearty yourself. No thanks to you, you bumbling oaf. Now, are you going to accompany Veriza here and make yourself useful? Or do I have to reintroduce you to that wall? But of course, milady. Gilgamesh is ever at your service. Singat Sundries, was it? Come now, Veriza. There is work to be done. Chicken. Although he did just get smushed into a wall. A piece of oversoul rags from Singat Sundries and a bottle of twice distilled water from the trader guest. Now hurry, goddammit, my dear boy's life is at stake. Oversoul rags, you say? I fear that I've only a single tatter left in stock, and it's already been spoken for. But my good man, you must reconsider. My dear friend's life, and quite possibly mine own as well, hangs in the balance. I sympathize with your plight, friend, but a man has to make a living. I've been promised a copious supply of rare chimera membrane for these rags. Unless you can offer me the same, no deal. Gah, you expect us to be able to summon such a rarity out of nowhere at a moment's notice? Well, look what we have here. If it isn't the Warrior of Light from the Colosseum. Funny who you meet at the markets. As it happens, I just returned from my training, and the slaying of 10 chimeras just happened to be my task for the day. If it's chimera membrane you seek, you're more than welcome to a share. My lady, you are far too kind. Don't mention it. If it hadn't been for Inspector Hildibrand and Veriza here, I'd still be tag-teaming with that slimy beast and cheating my way to fame and fortune, and I'm a woman who pays her debts. Fall take me if that wasn't Avila the Tempest. Ever since she confessed to her trickery and started climbing back up from the bottom of the ranks, I've been proud to call myself one of her biggest fans. Why, I've half a mind to give you the rags you seek, simply for the privilege of meeting her. A kind sentiment, my good man, but we are more than happy to uphold our side of the bargain, aren't we, Veriza? And with this, our task here is done. Now let us find this traitor named Guest. It's probably just, but... blundering Manderville boy is on his last legs, and you need something of mine to save him, you say? Perhaps you can give me a good reason why I should care. Those bloody Mandervilles are richer than the traders themselves, yet they have the audacity to haggle me down to the last gill for every purchase. If the family line ended today, I'd be a happier and wealthier man. And now I believe the ballroom calls. Good day to you, and do pass along my condolences to the grieving parents. Have you not a shred of honor or compassion in your spindly body? Business rival or no, the man is on death's doorstep. After the events of that day, my father will not so easily forgive and forget, but it matters not to me. No, my love for you is as deep as the 7 seas. I beg of you, milady, may I have this dance? Veriza, what a lovely surprise! Are you here for the ball, perchance? Heavens, the poor inspector! Well, if it isn't the Lapis maiden in the flesh, what say you bid farewell to printing frops and scruffy adventures, and share a dance with a cultured gentleman befitting your great beauty? Called a scruffy. Why, it would be a pleasure and an honor both, my lord. Provided you first provide my good friend Veriza with the bottle of twice distilled water that she seeks. You know this woman? Bah, if this is the price you would set, then so be it. Take it, it's barely worth its weight in gill anyway. Now, shall we, Miss Arabella? I knew Hildy to be a worthy rival, but to think he was this beloved by so many, clearly this realm would deeply mourn his loss. Quickly, Veriza, let us deliver these goods while there's still time to save him. I trust the two of you didn't dare to come back empty-handed. No, ma'am. Bloody brilliant. I'd take you over my muscle-headed half-wit of a husband any day. Now stand back and let me show you some real Manderville home cooking. Fall, you bloody bugger. Guide my skillet. Aye, that should stop its spread. Now it's up to Hildy to flush what's left out of his system. Don't worry, he's my son after all. I reckon he's still got some fight left in him. Look who I found. She was slumbering obliviously in a rubbish-strewn corner of Pearl Lane. Boy, did that nap feel good. Yes, I'm sure it did. Veriza, word has it that Ellie has been sighted at the Sil'dih ruins. We must go there with all haste. You've done well by my dear boy today. Don't worry, I'll handle things from here. There's a nice warm bed for him, and I think I know a few specialists who might know a thing or two about his condition. What in the 7 hells are you standing around for? The future of Ul'dah is at stake. Vriza, my strength is yours as well, for Ulda and for our friend Hildi. You remind me of my husband, what with you having more muscles than sense. If you're so keen on making yourself useful, why don't you run to the markets and bring me some fire crystals? Keeping my dear boy warm is key to fighting off the zombification. Let's see, I believe 20 crates or so should suffice. This is all her fault. I'm a warrior, not a... Aaron, yes, milady. I say, Enkidu, the burden we must bear is simply to secure my long-awaited final confrontation with Vriza. That said, the events of today have given me cause to reflect. Vriza and Hildi both. Oh, to be blessed with such veritable legions of friends, tried and true. But alas, not I. No, only one true friend have I ever known, and she is long lost to me. You are a fine bird, and have given me great comfort in my travels, but you will never be Enkidu, my one and true companion. Oh, my friend, were you here with me, even Vriza could not stand up against our combined might. Oh, Enkidu, wherever you may wander, hear my words, and return here to my side. Enkidu, do you hear me? Enkidu! Gads! What was that flash from the heavens? It nearly blinded me. And what? The crystals. Where have they gone? Fancy meeting you here, old friend. That voice, could it be? My faithful companion, why must you always make me wait so? Her last vow. Julian would send you on your way. What are you doing dilly-dallying around here? Let me jog your memory. There's a moon-sick maid digging around at the Sil'dih excavation site with her mind set on turning Ulda into the land of the walking dead. Your concern for Hildi is most touching, but you don't you worry. Mommy dearest isn't going to let her beloved son kick the bucket that easily. I almost don't want to click on her. Okay, it's at least the same thing. We've managed to track down Miss Ellie just up ahead, where your friends watch over her as we speak. Yet no matter how many times we try to reach out to her, she refuses to so much as answer. Needless to say, we considered physically incapacitating her, but that crate she's sitting on isn't just a makeshift chair. It's filled to the brim with the traitor's sperm. One misstep and the consequences could be dire indeed. You are our only hope, Vriza. Even in her single-minded rage, surely the time you spent together must still count for something. You need not put yourself in undue danger. I only ask that you step forth to where your voice may be heard and call out your friend's name. I beg of you, Vriza. Surely if anyone can convince the woman to abandon her madness, it is you. Oh, to think this girl and her sister were behind the crimes all along. I dare say this realm is awash with capable adversaries. Miss Ellie, and I thought we were friends. You do well not to anger the last friend. She's sitting atop an ample supply of that zombie powder, and I suspect she's not afraid to use it. Beggars belief that I could have been so blind. Aw, poor Briarden. Do I have to be right on top of it? Exclamation mark. Veriza, I suggest you leave this place while you still can. I bear you no grudge, but should you so much as think of interfering, I'll not hesitate to turn you into a zombie too. So it was you after all. Consider me disappointed. Your sister Cece is already in custody. Surrender now and I will see that no harm befalls her. How little you understand us, Inspector. Then again, how could one born into a life of power and privilege ever hope to understand? Cece and I have no family, no friends, no fortune, nothing. Two sisters against the world, with only our quest for justice to give us meaning. Long ago we made a vow. Should the worst happen, our mission takes priority over all. Yes, over our own wretched lives. Do you see now? Anything I might have once had to lose, I lost long ago. Now stand down or suffer the same fate as the Uldan dogs you would defend. Ellie, stop this madness. I'm sorry, Inspector. There's too many of them. All in a day's work for a Manderville man. He's got issues. You only delay the inevitable. I have an entire legion of the undead at my beck and call. Face it, it's only with Inspector Hildibrand's ridiculously good fortune that you even made it this far, and he's as good as 6 films under. Be forewarned, girl. Know that I speak from experience when I say underestimate Hildy, and you do so at your own peril. I'm afraid you underestimate me as well. No mere splash of holy water can stave off the effects of the traitor's spurn. I fear the good inspector's luck has finally run out. False balls. Is there no end to them? I'm not liking our chances, Greg, was it? He said yes to Greg. It's a shame to lose you, Vriza. Warrior of light that you are, you might yet have served one last purpose for us. Go forth, my zombie minions. Gentlemen of light. When darkness falls and hope fades to despair, 4 warriors born of light shall descend in the righteous glare. Bugger me with a broadsword. Are my eyes to be believed? That pose. No, these are not 4 warriors of light that I see. They are 4 gentlemen of light. Just so, my good man. Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, has made his triumphant return. Did you miss me? Aye, we meet again, girl. Tell me you've got my snurble tonic, or I'll fashion myself a wig from your lovely locks after I've ripped them clean from your bloody head. Oh, hello there, Mr. Elazar. You're looking absolutely resplendent today. We have the strangest friends. Impossible. The holy water couldn't have cured him. It didn't. Fortunately, our overlord spent quite some time building up an immunity to zombie powder. When we heard that Master Zombiebrand was at risk of joining the actual dead, we knew we had to take action. An immunity to... I am just going to pretend that makes any kind of sense. The game is up, Miss Ellie. Pray abandon this madness. Besides, plots of mass murder hardly suit a lady like yourself. It's over. It's all over, Inspector Briarden. You said there was something you would tell me when all was through. I imagine you have no words for me now. Ellie, your powers of deduction are wanting. You said that you had lost everything and everyone you had to lose, did you not? As for me, I have found something, someone with whom I intend to never part. I care not if it takes years, even decades. When you emerge from your jail cell a free woman, I will be there. What say you? Miss Ellie, while the crimes perpetrated by you and your sister are unpardonable, you are far from the only ones guilty. On behalf of the Syndicate, I offer my apologies for the false aspersions cast upon your ancestors. You said that the nation of Ul'dah was built on lies. Seeing what I have seen today, I cannot deny your words. It will not be an easy task to rewrite, nay, restore history, but know this, I will do everything in my power to bring the truth to the fore. Are we not forgetting someone here? And by someone, I mean me. If you're quite done playing Cloak and Dagger, I require Veriza's presence for a matter of far greater importance. Aye, the time of our too long delayed confrontation is nigh. Obsession. Look at her. She's like, really? Do I have to? Why the long face, friend? But mayhap this will have you singing a happier tune. Oh! Could it be the treaty blade? The true one at that? None other, and I have not the slightest intention of parting with it, save to the one who would defeat me in single combat. But I misspeak. It will not be single combat this time. Is that my cue, old friend? It's a good thing he's not tempered. I'll be merciful. What is that abomination? Some new breed of void scent? Abomination? I'll thank you to address my companion with courtesy, girl. But 'twas the most curious thing. There I was, hauling a crate full of crystals for Hildy's mother, and thinking how much better things would be if my dear friend Enkidu were here. Then came a flash from the heavens, and the next thing I knew, there she was. That's a girl. By the gods, it makes perfect sense. Doubtless the crystals heard Greg's heartfelt plea, summoning forth his friend. Nay, no mere friend, but rather the primal Enkidu. Well, at least Hildibrand knows what a primal is. And the world has now completely and utterly ceased to be bound by the laws of logic. Veriza, you have bested me in the past, but facing the two of us together will not prove so easy a task. And yet, I trust you will not shirk from the challenge. Enkidu and I shall await you at Amdapor Keep. "'Tis a ways from here, but what better venue for our climatic confrontation? If you would claim the treaty blade, then claim it from me as a warrior. To the skies, Enkidu, to the skies." "2 against 1? That's not very gentlemanly of you, Greg. Come, Veriza, to Amdapor." This is a grave development indeed, to think that one man could summon a primal on his own. I must send word to the Scions at once. Hello? Oh, but of course, I had near forgotten. We had a warrior of light in our very midst. Please, Veriza, you are our only hope to slay the primal and reclaim the blade. Look at the Inspector go. I'm right behind you, Inspector. And with that, my work here is done. You were by far the least incompetent associate I encountered in my travels. For preserving some shred of my sanity, you have my thanks. That said, my time in this land was not a total loss. My experiences here have taught me an important lesson, that this world, and the fools who populate it, rarely, if ever, abide by the principles of logic. This should serve me well in my future cases. And most importantly of all, I leave here with a vow that has given my life new meaning. But this is no time for sentiment. I'm sorry for deceiving you, Vriza. For what it's worth, it wasn't personal. It never is. Ellie, forgive me. After 400 years, this might very well spell the end for the Arbiters of Truth. Whether or not to replace the Fallen is a decision for my superiors to make. In either event, I have decided to renounce my position. I thought they were but white lies, but I have seen firsthand the suffering they can cause. The fact that she knew it was a white lie and still chose to hide it? The Gentlemen of Light. They were every bit as radiant as I pegged them to be. One day, I'll be a hero myself. Just you watch. All's well that ends well, eh, Vriza? Hildy's undead acquaintances were kind enough to make an appearance at my request. Who'd have thought zombies could be such gentlemen? I reckon it must be my son's good influence. I knew that if anything could bring Hildy back from the undead, it would be my dear wife's hand-mixed holy water. That's the world-class Culnarian I married. Is that you, Vriza? Pray forgive me. I was right on Greg's trail when I encountered a subterranean curiosity that demanded my immediate attention. I will be concluding my investigation forthwith, but in the meantime, might I trouble you to entertain Greg and his primal friend in my stead? Together we will reclaim the treaty blade from that knave, Vriza. Yes, just go on ahead. I'll be along directly. This really makes me wonder what the 1.0 Hildibrand was like. terrifying. This guy's so funny. Not that I remember these fights at all, but... Aw, cute little green chicken. What ho, Veriza? Have you seen Greg and his oversized avian companion? Lead me to them at once, and we shall deliver the coup de grace together. The battle has already been won? That is triumphant news indeed. Clearly the lessons you have learned from me have not been for naught. And what's this you say? The treaty blade lies hidden somewhere in the nearby wood? Worry not, my ever-loyal associate, for no buried treasure will escape the keen eye of Hildibrand, agent of inquiry and inspector extraordinaire. Now which way was the forest again? Vriza, what news of the primal and the treaty blade? Remarkable. I knew the Warrior of Light would emerge triumphant. Let us hope that Inspector Hildibrand enjoys similar success in finding the blade. Such design, such craftsmanship, at once bold and powerful, yet sensitive and refined. I believe I've found the inspiration for my next masterpiece. Of course they're beautiful. They were the greatest treasures of the lost Sil'dih. To think that they were locked away in the vaults of those that destroyed our homeland and dragged our ancestors' names through the mud. And just how did you come to know of these long-lost relics? There was an ancient scroll passed down in our family, left to us by our dear grandmother. It spoke of 4 warriors of light. Sorry. There are 4 relics and an incantation of untold power. If we could have wielded this magic of legend, Ellie and I might still have had the last laugh. Alas, speaking the words had no effect. Only a warrior of light can wield the power, or so the legend goes. Ah, what I wouldn't have given to see it, the ultimate achievement of the greatest of mages this realm has ever known. And just what sort of incantation is this? The ring casts open the doors of justice. The wise man whispers a verdict true. Azima's virtue shines down from the heavens. To complete the incantation, the warrior of light would then hold forth the treaty blade and speak, "Blade in hand, I swear unto you." The legends differ as to what happens next, but all speak of a great holy radiance shining down from the heavens. Over here, friends, Hildibrand, agent of inquiry, inspector extraordinaire, returns with tidings most triumphant. Behold, safe in my hands, none other than the treaty blade, and the real one this time. I swear unto you. Yes, just like that. I swear unto you, then. My word, whatever is this odd tingling sensation? Ridiculous. Hildibrand isn't a warrior of light. He's just some fool who thought he could stop the lesser moon with his own bare hands. But he has a heart of gold. It would seem the Treaty Blade is just as confused as the rest of us. No, the light! Someone stop it! I won't stand to see the legendary power of our forefathers wielded by this muscle-bound buffoon. Skyward ho! Well, I dare say that proved to be the most useful incantation indeed. And so the light of justice that shone from the Treaty Blade banished the shadow, returning peace to the land. So the legend ended. I must say I never expected it to be quite literally a beam of light. I suppose it wouldn't have been much use to us after all. Inspector! Oh, Inspector, wait for me! False balls. Hildy, first you almost die at your poor mother's feet, and now you fly off to God knows where, without even giving her a kiss goodbye? Oh, it appears that a case of wanderlust has once again struck Hildibrand, as it has many a Manderville man before him. Godspeed, my boy. When the day comes that you tire of mystery solving, your dear old man will be here to pass on to you the family art. So, in the end, the Sil'dih incantation of legend was wielded not by a warrior of light, but a gentleman of light? Well, the Treaty Blade is some 6 centuries old after all. Perhaps it's not quite as sharp as it used to be. Oh, the puns. The magic that brought peace and happiness to the people of Palladium. It was every bit as beautiful as I imagined. To think I would see it with my own eyes, it's nothing short of a dream come true. He bumbles and stumbles through yet another case, and still he manages to make a girl's dream come true. I sense a tad bit of jealousy there. Just a little bit. A gentleman to the end, the bloody bastard. What's this? A glint in the corner of my eye? A curious scent wafting in on the winds from a far-flung land? Do I smell a case? Worry not for me, my friends, for wherever the wronged want for succor, I, Hildibrand, shall be there. I think it's until we meet again. And so ends another episode. I love these endings.